Welcome back. I'm Calvin Statue Fanatic here with another episode of Collecting on a Budget, the show where I show you some really cool collectibles that you can collect and not break the bank. Today, we're going to unbox and take a look at Marvel's latest addition to their premier collection, Magneto. Let's take a look at the box, and then after that, we're going to get it unboxed, and we're going to take a look at the statue and see what you guys think. Let's get started. The box comes with some pretty cool artwork, just images of Magneto himself all around here. You can see what the box looks like there. I'm not going to pick it up. It's a pretty good sized box, actually. It says that it's sculpted by Phil Ramirez and it's limited to 3,000 pieces. And this happens to be 1448 of 3,000. Of course, brought to you by Diamond Select. And you guys know that I'm a huge fan of Diamond Select because they are killing it with some of these smaller scale statues. They are just absolutely amazing statues. This statue stands, I think, about 14 inches tall. But that's pretty much it with the box. We're going to actually get this guy unboxed right now. All right, there we go. Comes with this right on the top of the box. This is says Premier Collection Magneto resin statue sculpted by Phil Ramirez.
Previously on X-Men.
Now that we've got him unboxed, let's take a look at him. First off, I want to mention that he comes with two portraits. He comes with the one with the helmet on, and then he comes with the one without the helmet, which is right here. And we'll do some close-ups, and I'll put both of them on so you can take a look at what they look like. Just at first glance, everything looks really cool. The portrait here looks really good. It's painted really nicely with the gray tones to his white hair there. It looks really cool. I don't see anything that concerns me about that. But back to collecting on a budget here. As I look at the entire statue, circling around here, taking once over, I'm digging the statue a lot. I'm digging the pose. All of that looks really cool. Love the fact that he is in a state of magnetism, if you will, where you can see the energy from the rocks here swelling up as he builds up this magnetic energy. Looks pretty cool. It's kind of a classic pose for Magneto. You kind of see him in a pose like this a lot whenever somebody does a statue. It's kind of dynamic, and I like that. But as we take a look, we'll take a look at the base all the way up when it comes to the sculpt. The base is basically some rocks with this magnetism energy type dome that's rising up from the rocks. Normally, a lot of times when you see Magneto, you'll see metal objects floating or something like that. You don't see anything like that on here. But the rocks have some pretty good detail in them, and I like that. It looks cool. Take a look all around there. The rocks look really cool, as you can see here. And then as we move up, you can see this dome of energy that's starting to build up as he builds up this magnetic energy. It's a translucent dome, kind of looks like glass a little bit. And that also looks pretty cool. And then as you move up to his cape, love the way the cape flows, and he's suspended in midair in terms of the design and the pose and the sculpt of this. He's suspended in midair, and the way that he's suspended is his cape is actually part of the rocks, but you can't really tell. So it gives him this illusion that he's levitating, which is kind of awesome there. You can see that as I kind of turn the statue around there. And then as far as the cape is concerned, I love the way that it flows. There's a lot of sculpting and design and different elements to the design of the cape here, which is pretty awesome. And then as you look at his body, he's sculpted quite nicely. I mean, he's very muscular all the way from his calves all the way up to his thighs to his abdomen and his biceps and everything. You can see all the muscles and sculpting and the detail on that. And there's even some sculpting and design in the uniform that he's wearing, which is awesome. And then around his helmet, I like that. There's this little sculpting here in the front of his helmet. And then if you go around, you can see the hair coming out of the back, and there's a lot of sculpting there. Now, back to the cape, there's these bolt-looking things on the cape. You can see that. So it's a pretty simple figure, but he looks really cool. Now, as far as the paint application is concerned, that is the one drawback, I think, to this figure is not a whole lot that could have gone wrong, but there's a lot of areas where it's not done very neatly. And I don't like that about it, but I've seen multiple of these where in the smaller scale statues, you have some that come out absolutely perfect, and then you get that one that has some of the things here. The issues aren't such that you would go, oh man, this really looks bad, but you can just see where it could have been tidied up quite a bit in a number of areas, especially like around his arms. That could have been done a little bit better, and the paint not spilling over on the red area. And around here, this part of his uniform here where his thighs are, where the purple meets the red here, a little bit paint spill over there. But otherwise, it looks pretty decent. There is one other thing. Now, I like this portrait a lot. It fits in really nicely, goes in, and it looks really well. But when I try to put the other one in, on the ends of it to make it fit, normally with something like this with a switch out, there'd be a magnet. There is no magnet here. This comes right out. There is no magnet at all. And if you were to hold that upside down or something, I don't know why you would do that. It would fall right out. But there is this rubber washer that's around here, and that's what's used to grip this and put it in place. Now, when it comes to the one here, I didn't put the washer on, and I don't even think I need it because the way that I handle my statues, this probably would never fall off anyway. But it fits on really nicely. There's a really nice transition between his skin and his cape there, and I like that a lot. But when I put this one on, I even took the little washer off, and I push it down, the transition is good, but there is a little gap there. Even with that on it, it wobbles. Not a real big fan of that. That doesn't look too hot. That's not cool. It's still a $140 statue, and I still expect it to look good. That's why I bring these things to you guys. And normally I would have already opened the statue, looked at it before I presented it, but it was Magneto, so I wanted to open it with you guys because I typically only bring something to you that I know that I love. There's a lot I like about this piece, but there's some issues with it, and this being one of them that, I think I might actually send this one back because I don't think all of them are like that, because when I put this helmet on, it fits perfect. It looks great. And then when I take this off and I put the unmasked one on, it doesn't fit. Even when I take off this little ring, this washer here, because I really don't care if it has that on there or not, because I don't play with these, so I don't care. It's not going to fall off. But even with that, it doesn't. It has too much give, and it doesn't sit flush on here. So that I would probably, for that reason alone, I'm probably going to send this back. I ordered this from Big Bad Toy Store after seeing it at Comic-Con last year, or this year. And because I really liked it. The one that I saw there looked amazing. And the paint job was great, all of that. So I know it can look really cool. And I really like this a lot. So I'm going to send it back to get a better one. So my recommendation is, yes, it's worth owning. I like it. It looks really cool. Portrait looks great. The sculpt is great. The design is really great. The paint, subpar. And the portrait doesn't fit with the head the way that it should. So if you get one, I would make sure if you're buying it on eBay that you ask those questions on eBay about it, or get some pictures, because you can't necessarily return some things that you do those types of transactions with. But if you get it from Big Bad Toy Stores or some other retailer, or maybe your comic book shop, then maybe you might want to get them to open it so that you can look at it to make sure that you're getting a good piece. But other than that, guys, that's about it. I'm going to sign off here. And if you want to stay informed with some of the latest in the world of collecting, there's a lot of conventions that are coming up here this coming year that we're going to be covering, unboxing, pop hunts, and all kinds of cool things. Instagram's blowing up, Facebook's blowing up, YouTube's blowing up. So please make sure you stay tuned for all of those cool things coming up. Make sure you like and subscribe. And until next time, my friend, keep it marvelous.